the power of the SME is in its collective potential, economic and social. You know, if, for instance, if you look at a single SME whose turnover of 100,000 per annum, it really is insignificant. But you have 1,000 of them, then the turnover becomes 100 million. So then it's really, therein lies the power of the SME and the employment levels. If it's two per that business, then it's 2,000 people employed. So we got to look at it from that perspective all the time. Keep that in mind when we're discussing SMEs. Don't think they are small and they don't mean anything. They have a lot of collective power, economic and social power. So that's all I have to say. And I'll please ask Minister Rosy Akbar to share her success of the Women's Expo, Trade Expo that she held last year. This was all about the SME and the development of that. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you for the invitation to be here. Being part of this panel and being here with you this morning is a very clear indication that yes, we women are very important to the nation. And it's very important to include us in panels such as this. And as a minister responsible for the ministry, for women, children, and of course poverty alleviation, it is very important for me to say the reason why we support SME is, as mentioned by the chair, the socio-economic empowerment of women is very important. And from my perspective, that's very important to promote this, to ensure that we tackle the very, what should I say, one of the very challenging social problems that we have right now in Fiji is tackling domestic violence. And we have found out one of the reasons why women decide to stay in these relationships, and if I can give you statistics, 64% of women in Fiji have been subjected to intimate partner violence. And that is not only shameful, but actually a very dreadful trend for our country. So we believe that empowering women, making them financially independent, sort of gives them a voice, a stand. And that this will assist us in as a country to fight gender inequality, which I believe is a cause for domestic violence. So apart from the laws that the government has, you always hear this, when the media has been very generous with us and in promoting our ministry's programs. So basically the National Expo started in 2014, and we raised the profile last year after the experiences that was learned by the team. And we are very grateful for our partners who are on board, especially the private sector. We have courts, we have MHs, we have Westpac partnering with us. And if I may urge other corporate bodies to come on board with us and partner with us in making sure that the next expo that we have is even a bigger one. If you look at the rationale behind the expo was to get women from across the countries, from the Eastern Division, from the Northern, from the Western, and the Central, under one single national event. And we did that in 2014. Compared to the sales in 2014, close to 133,000 was made within 3 days. And last year, from the lessons learned in 2014, the improvements we did with the partnership we forged with the private sector, we had a total of $314,133 earned by our women budding entrepreneurs within 3 days. So we see that as a success. And our partnership with the Ministry of Trade is actually enabling us to put these individual women and the groups that travel to Suva to showcase their artifacts and talents and ensure that we issue them with Fijian-made licenses. I think it was mentioned in the beginning, the quality. We need to have quality, and that's what the ministry is trying to do through our divisional training programs. We are trying to train women with the Fiji National Training Council, with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism, to ensure that we improve on the quality. So this year, it's not about the quantity. we have started our programs to ensure that quality, and 43 women last year were given the Fijian made licenses, which was an achievement for the ministry. And we are looking at, we are looking at increasing that number in the coming years. And so, like I said, to the private sector, please come on board and let's work towards promoting more entrepreneurship within our women. I mean, if I may share this, there are some of the women who have never come to the city, who never came to the city. And this was an opportunity for them to come and see the opportunities that exist. And that is part of our ministry's empowerment program. I think somebody said if you need to have my contact, it's 9904-475. Please call me up if you have some interesting proposals. And a special request to Div here. I've never met him before, Div. But we actually need you to partner with us in terms of our media messaging. Whether it be child welfare, whether it be women, of course without a fee. So please, we are ready to work with, and I'm thankful for those nothing free these days. We can negotiate and we can talk about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Therein lies the message again about the power, the socio-economic power of small business creation. Can I please ask Mr. Vishnu Mohan now to comment on he's been with the ANZ for a number of years and he's got a lot of intimate knowledge about why the SMEs could not be funded through the banks. And so what can we do now differently whereby we can support this initiative that government's going to put out, the establishment of a council focusing on that? How do we finance the SMEs in your views, Mr. Mohan?
SMEs actually can be funded by the banks. I don't think.
Now that you're not at the bank?
No, I think the challenge with SMEs is, first of all, in my experience, what I found with SMEs is banks have to teach people that it's the cash that repays the bank, not property, not land.
We understand from a SME point of view that it's actually really hard to do business, and you have to keep a close eye on many parts of the business, from marketing to compliance issues and cash flow. And particularly in Fiji, you also have to worry about the adverse consequence on small businesses brought through natural disaster, which is not just it's not just an insurance thing. So the insurance industry is really keen. We know our role is to work with SME to understand their needs and to provide the right cover that ensures that SMEs have a sustainable business that can survive through these events.
Lend to this kind of thing, but HFC is part of FNPA, and the idea is to actually have a specialized institution, somewhat like the venture capital, where we can actually take equity interest and also lend. So you need specialized people to manage the institution like that. Set up a specific institute, probably through HFC, which is a commercial bank, which is owned by FNPA, and UTOF, then that becomes a vehicle to fund some of these small businesses.